I'm just saying next to them, like, I wait. You guys are, yeah.
Not a good place. Right, against this wall. Yeah, there's an empty
Wait a minute.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today at the Reach Opportunity Center. Before I get started, I didn't put in my remarks, but I thought I should tell you why we chose this place to host this event. We have two excellent early learning programs operating right out of this building. Community Action's Head Start program and Akron Public Schools Early Learning program operate here. This is their playground, and it is an excellent example of collaboration in early childhood, which is what we're all here about today. So I want to welcome you to the launch of our Unified Early Learning System. Thanks to our media partners, all of our team that came together to pull this together. And most importantly, standing behind me are the educators who will be helping us carry this system out for phase one. We're here because early childhood education is about far more than childcare. It's the foundation for school readiness, family stability, and a stronger community. Every child deserves a strong start, and every family deserves support. This system is designed to make that support real, with professional development for educators, business supports to strengthen programs, wraparound services for families, a shared pool of trained substitutes, and coordinated recruitment, training, and placement of staff. Starting deliberately and small, with 8 providers in Akron and Barberton, from each type of childcare setting in our community, from family-based childcare to the school district. We're going to test elements of an eventual community-wide system that has been built by our local early childhood experts and modeled after best practices from around the country. Those 8 providers will be also supported by excellent nonprofits in our community, including the Early Childhood Resource Center, who will be the lead on the project, the United Way's Center for Immersive Leadership, the Urban League, and University of Akron's Center for Structured Literacy. And finally, our Cradle to Career Backbone Agency, Summit Education Initiative, will be providing evaluation for the program. So to officially kick this launch off and share the city's vision for Akron's children, please welcome Mayor Shamus Malik.
I thought Rochelle was going to do the city part, so apologies. I just want to say a few things. I am so proud to be standing up here. I'm so proud to be standing up here alongside all of you because this initiative is going to help support the champions of our children and families, right? And the folks who are early childhood educators need a community that has their back, right? There are folks here in the audience who have been working on this for a long time, but Akron really is the largest of our big cities without an initiative like this, and that changes today. We have this initiative, and it's because of the work of a lot of people here, and some folks are not here today. And really why we're here is because this is one of the best investments we can make in our youth, right? All of our youth, no matter who they are, no matter which zip code they grow up in, they deserve the best shot at a thriving, happy, healthy, safe life. And this is one of and they deserve They deserve that. And every family deserves affordable, quality childcare. I think Alice and I may have locked down childcare this evening, but we're not going to need it for a couple more months. And every educator who does this work deserves to make a living doing this work as well. So this is just the first step. This is not pretending that we've solved all the problems or that we've figured out all the funding. That comes later. But this is about building a future where quality is consistent across our community, where providers are supported and not struggling, where families have real choices, and every child enters school ready to learn. And this is our community's solution, not just City Hall's solution. Right? This is an Akron and Barberton solution. This is something that we could not do without the partnership of Summit County and our county executive, Eileen Shapiro. This is something that we truly are doing together. You have heard me talk about together a lot. It is more than just a slogan. It's a reflection that in the childcare system, just like in many systems, we have to work together. Our kids in early learning, they learn in centers, they learn in homes, they learn in our public schools, they learn in amazing places like this, they learn in Head Start, and they deserve to have that opportunity no matter where they are. So we have to be collaborative. And then the last thing I want to say is we often talk about infrastructure in terms of roads and bridges, and we have to. Those things need investment. But often the systems that aren't visible need support just as much. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to wrap capacity and structure and support around what we already have. But this is just the beginning. So I don't think I even need to ask, but I want to ask all of you tonight to remember this moment in the days, months, and years to come, to know that we are on the beginning of this journey, but we have a long way to go. But together, we in Akron and Barberton and across Summit County are going to build an amazing early learning system for all of our youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and vision. So this system is more than a plan. It's a set of coordinated supports for our educators, families, and children. Next, we'll hear from one of our core thought partners, Christine Mayer, president of the GAR Foundation. Our foundation partners, the Akron Community Foundation, Barberton Community Foundation, GAR, and others, are helping to ensure that supports like these that we're putting in place now are strong and sustainable. Christine?
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the first speech I've ever given on a playground, I think, other than to my own children. So as Rochelle mentioned, I'm from GAR Foundation. Our mission is to help Akron to become smarter, stronger, and more vibrant. We are really excited about this program as a foundation that gives away money, like that's our job. Sounds like it'd be super easy. It's not always that easy because there are lots and lots of different things to choose from, and we're always looking for efforts that will have a high return on investment and that will either seize upon a really great opportunity in our community or will help solve a really difficult problem. We love this program because it actually checks all three of those boxes. Everybody in this playground probably knows that there is Nobel Prize winning research proving that investments in early learning, quality early learning, have a huge return on investment. For every dollar you put in, you get at least $4 and you get up to $16, which is an investment we would take any day. So that's satisfied. The interesting thing is usually we find something that either jumps on a great opportunity or solves a problem. This program really does both. The opportunity our mayor talked about and Rochelle referenced as well, young people is the greatest asset we have as a community, to be able to provide environments and to support the people around them, to provide, you know, the nurturing they need to get a really great start. That's probably the best opportunity that's out there, and we will take that all day long. What problems are there? Lots of them. I mean, I think our providers can tell us there are problems retaining talent in these jobs. They're really hard jobs. There are problems for employers. I think Joe Luckering is going to talk about, as an employer, there are problems if you don't have great child care settings out there, getting your workers to be able to come to work every day, because you can't come to work unless you have a great, safe, nurturing place for your child to go. So this is designed very thoughtfully and with intel from the people who are actually in this world and living this stuff. Again, looking at you all and all of our experts here who really told us about the realities on the ground, this is designed to address some of those problems. And lastly, I'll say we love this program because it does not reinvent any wheels. It takes some great wheels we already have in this community, and it aligns them in the same direction so that we can move faster and we can move better toward a big solution on this very important issue. We're proud to invest. Thank you, Mayor, for your vision and your leadership. Thank you, Rochelle, for all the really hard work you've done on this. Thanks to all of our fellow funders and colleagues who have stepped up. Thanks to my own colleagues, Laura DeCola and Kirsten Toth before her. We've been at this a really long time. And most importantly, thank you to the child care providers of our community. Anytime, as a mom, anytime I hear someone say, oh, well, that's just sort of babysitting or caregiving, I always say, you wouldn't last the first morning. Like, you just wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. It's really hard work, and it is the most fulfilling and amazing work, and it's the most important work. But it is hard work, and we greatly appreciate the way you all do it. So we're excited to see what the future holds. Thanks.
Thank you for showing us how intentional investment can spark systemic change, Christine. So, like Christine mentioned, alongside philanthropy, the business community also knows that early childhood is critical to our workforce and our economic future. So we're going to hear next from Joe Luckering, who's the president of PNC Bank in the Akron region, about how Akron's unified early learning system strengthens both children and the region's workforce.
Move that up a little bit. Thank you, Rochelle. Really appreciate that. And thank you all for joining us here this evening. I'm often asked why PNC, a bank, would take such a profound focus on early childhood education. And the answer is really quite simple. You heard some of that information already shared this evening. But the return on investment from high quality early childhood education is going to impact our children, our society, our community, our business community for generations to come. The data's there. It's fully supportive. It's frankly pretty easy to extract and review by, on your own. This understanding is what has driven our effort under Grow Up Great, which is our initiative throughout our entire footprint. Which is equated to $500 million over the last 20 years invested in the birth to 5 generation and advancement of our kids. It's so critically important because it impacts our kids today, it impacts our workforce for the future, and frankly, it ultimately impacts our communities and our ability to thrive and prosper. If these kiddos do well academically, it helps them mitigate income disparities, they attain better physical and mental health, and it increases their overall civic and societal engagement. From a business community perspective, simply stated, accessible, affordable, quality childcare is critical infrastructure. And Mayor, I think you alluded to that a little bit. Without it, your community, our community, is going to be limited. Our opportunities for growth and advancement are not going to be the same. We simply have to have it. There's two key statistics that I want to share with everybody. Number one, and the reality simply is, we're falling behind in this battle on early childhood education. Right now, as it stands today, less than 50% of our kids are proving to be kindergarten ready as they enter their educational journey. That's not good enough. We've got to step that effort up, if we're going to ultimately be successful for the kids and frankly for our overall community. Additionally, and this is data from Policy Matters Ohio, 61% of parents that are not working right now that have children indicated that they would re-enter the workforce if they had access to quality childhood education and child care. I'm sorry. We have a workforce issue. There's no question. I don't think any business person you speak to today says, yeah, I've got all the folks that I need and all my positions are filled and I've got waiting lists I'm working on. It's not the case. Quite frankly, the opposite. We need to do something to curb that as well if we're going to be successful as a region. So I hope the business community, along with me, along with PNC and many of my friends and business associates out there, support this effort like we do at PNC. I don't know if it's the absolute answer to all the issues, but it certainly is worthy of taking a good hard look at, and that's what we're here today to support and advocate for. So thank you very much for your interest and your support. And Rochelle, wherever you're at, turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Joe. Now we're going to hear from Summit Education Initiative Executive Director David James about why early childhood matters. He's going to dig a little into research, the data, and the big picture impact for our community.
Thank you all for being here and welcome. At Summit Education Initiative, we really do believe that every child deserves a strong start. And that is why the partners gathered here today are working to build this unified early learning system, a network of high-quality programs that prepare children for success in school and in life. Research does show that children who attend quality early learning programs develop stronger language skills, better social emotional foundations, and improve readiness for kindergarten. Our data shows that very clearly. These early gains lead to better reading and math performance, setting the stage for lifelong learning among our youth. And the benefits go far beyond the classroom. Children who start strong are more likely to graduate high school, pursue higher education, and contribute meaningfully to our community. For families, this means more opportunities and brighter futures. For community and business leaders, this means a smarter investment in long-term prosperity. Summit Education Initiative is proud to support this work, and not just as an education initiative, but as a commitment to building a stronger, more equitable Summit County. Together, we can make quality early education accessible at scale across our community and ensure that every child has a chance to thrive. Thank you.
David's a little taller than me. Thanks, David, for grounding us in the evidence and long-term impact. So I'm most excited about this, you all. We're going to hear next from Jo White. She's a family child care provider. She's on the front lines, and she's been with us since we started building this thing 14, 15 months ago. She's going to remind us why this system is about real children and real families.
So I want to thank everyone for coming. It just speaks to my heart because it says that for this moment in time, our minds and our spirits and our souls and our thoughts and our prayers and our actions are moving towards what's best for our children and families. We all probably work today, so we're a little tired, so bear with us because this is all good stuff. So the unified early learning system is working to achieve better outcomes for school readiness, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Families are struggling to provide for their basic needs. It's hard to focus on school and learning when food, housing, or health care is always not certain. For some years now, as a mom, as an educator, and a community member, I've seen the struggles our children face in school. I am also very familiar with the challenges programs and educators face. That's why I'm excited for the direction that UELS is going. I look forward to provider supports that we need, y'all, to help with business and tools that we need to just ensure that we're managing a quality program. So there'll be a substitute pool, professional development training, and then also help with recruitment and enrollment. So a lot of our day-to-day has been increasingly as the years have gone on. So I started in early childhood about 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And when we started, a lot of times administrators, providers, we could focus on the children in the classroom. So the activities, the learning, supporting the families. But as time has gone on, there's been a shift. And I know my providers can agree with me. And we find ourselves boggled down a lot with the paperwork. The paperwork, retaining staff, enrollment, and then supporting our families' increasingly challenging needs day to day. And so what just fills me is that the focus of this project is to take a lot of that away so that we can get back to the business of educating and caring for our children. Children will receive support on site like speech therapy, behavioral therapists, and they will be assigned regularly, ongoing. So we're not having to call and so be on wait lists for 6 months to get support for our children. As a provider, there are so many aha moments. A child that figured out how to solve a particular problem that they have been working on. A family that literally broke down in tears to you because of some support that they needed, whether it was housing or food or some family struggle that they were going through. As well as a teacher that finally figured out how to complete or work on some positive classroom strategy that worked and got the children's attention. And so thanks for the UELS and all of the wraparound supports and all of the business tools and just support day to day, though we can be in those moments again, right? And not have to be boggled by all the documents, all the red tape, all the paperwork. So I am just excited. I'm just excited for all of us because I am a true believer that it takes a village. And without all of us, especially those of us who are literally in the classrooms with the children and giving hugs and support and smiles and everything that we're needing to ensure that our particular families and our providers are doing well, that it's going to spill off into the community, right? Because each one teach one. So if we're working and doing our best to provide all of those supports like a village should, then leaders that will invest back into their communities when they're older. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe. It's important for all of us here to remember the human part of our story. That's what makes it meaningful. So before I wrap things up, I want to thank our elected officials who I see with us today. We have Mayor Judge from Barberton, Pastor Gregory Harrison from the Akron School Board. I saw Diana Autry from the school board, Councilwoman Davis, Councilwoman Boyce, Did I miss anyone else sneak in? Thank you guys. Oh, Mayor Malik, he's here.
I meant to before, and I really can't let this moment go without just thanking Rochelle for a second. She has poured her heart into this, and she has really given me a lot of energy and optimism and hope for our community. And just seeing how kind of relentless, I thought I was relentless, and then I've watched her work, and so that's part of what gives me the sense. But thank you.
Also, before anyone escapes, I want to let you know there is fantastic food inside from Wheezy Cakes. If you haven't had their catering before, stop and get it. Inside also, there's sort of a gallery walk kind of thing where you can walk through and see the different components that are going into this system. So please take a little bit of time and walk through there. We have a group of people, a list for our press friends who are willing to do interviews afterwards. So if my civic leadership group could hang back for those potential one-on-ones, please do that. And maybe we're running a little behind, but maybe we have time for a couple of questions if you would like.
In favor with Signal Akron, kind of the mayor, whoever talked about this. You mentioned a little bit about funding streams, and I'm curious, I don't expect a dollar amount or anything super specific, but I'm curious, can you kind of talk about those funding streams? Are there federal grants, state grants that are going to go into this program at the initial 12-month period?
I'm going to let Rochelle answer that. But before that, I would just like to say there are a number of partners, and the city's proud to be a part of it, our county, a number of folks in our corporate nonprofit community. We can get you the breakdown, but Rochelle might have it from memory.
So phase one is almost $1 million project. It's a true collaboration of public and private dollars, all local. The city, the county, GAR Foundation, Akron Community Foundation, Huntington Bank, PNC Bank, Greater Akron Chamber, Barberton Community Foundation. United Way is putting in a lot of in-kind support for a lot of the training for leadership. And
We're not done. We're not done.
We are not done. We're in conversation with many others, and lots of those grants are pending, but it is all local.
Can you talk through what support the community, the child care centers will be getting through this project?
I sure can. I'll try to keep it short. So on that paper has a good rundown for you, but what we're really looking to do in phase one is wrap the community's arms around the provider. Our long-term North Star is getting kids ready for kindergarten, but we know that it's not as simple as stepping into a child's life when they're 4. And we know that more kids can get more quality care if we support providers. But providers are facing a workforce crisis. They are both tasked with educating the children, taking care of all of their needs, and also finding them the services that they need if there are developmental delays. So we'll have navigators in the system to help families find the services they need for their children before they hit the K-12 system. We're going to have behavioral health coaching on site with the providers so that we can help the teachers manage classrooms and also work with the teachers on secondary trauma. We're going to do business coaching because lots of you here have heard me say this. People who own child care centers and run child cares from their homes, they didn't choose that because they went and got an MBA. They chose it because they have a heart for growing young minds and taking care of their community. And so what the community can do is give back and help them with some of those business supports and help to develop business acumen. And we'll also, we're leadership development. There's other things that I'm forgetting, but that's kind of the gist of it. Oh, yes, we are also going to have a substitute pool. Thanks, Christine. I have so many friends in this room. It's not a room. A substitute pool so that particularly the smaller providers can send their teachers to go get professional development, or just actually teachers can take a day off when they're sick, and we can help provide that. So it will be a shared service for substitutes. We'll also have a shared service for recruitment, training, and placement of educators so that we can try to get teachers in empty classrooms that we have in our community right now.
There was some talk about the cost of early childhood education for families, in Akron and Suffolk County and Barberton. How will Phase 1 lower the costs for working class families in Akron and Suffolk County?
Phase 1 won't do that, Andrew. Phase 1 it's 1 year. It is not sustainable funding. That's why we're starting small, and we are stabilizing providers and hoping to cut down on provider costs so that hopefully it trickles out while our providers are implementing Phase 1 to test some of these components and work together, our leaders in our community who've been behind this, we're going to be doing some cost modeling on what the future system will look like once we find sustainable funding, which will include these big headline things that you read about childcare: high tuition, low wages.
Can you talk a little bit about the consultants and the support we're getting, the national support around that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for the future.
Sorry.
The mayor asked if I could expand more on the help that we're going to get for cost modeling. So we've identified a national firm. It's the Children's Funding Project. They help communities across the country to find sustainable funding for children's initiatives. And where we'll start is with a cost model. They'll scan everything that we can get as a community, all the dollars that we can bring in that already exist, identify a gap, and then we can work from that gap and pick the number that we need for the system that we want.
So what happens after the year? Like, are you looking if you can find the sustainable funding? You want to grow this in all providers?
Yeah, so I mean, the ultimate goal is making sure that we have, affordable, quality childcare that's accessible to all children in our community, right? And so, how you do that requires some long-term funding, right? And frankly, some expanded funding, and likely some form of public funding. And so, really, we want to have this year and perhaps beyond, right? We may be able to extend the life of this pilot. But buy us that time to then build the plane that will get us to that more of, we don't use the word universal pre-K, but that more universal access goal. Another point that I want to raise is that in a lot of communities, they do this by focusing on 4-year-olds and focusing on 3-year-olds. Then, potentially if you get through that, then you focus on younger kids. One of the things we're doing is we're focusing on birth to 5 or birth to kindergarten. And we did that because there's some advantage to being last. We get to learn from everybody else's mistakes. And so we had experts from communities all across Ohio come in and tell us if there's one thing we'd do over again, we'd really build it from birth to 5 to start. And so the benefits that we're talking about for the supports we're talking about for the pilot will do that, but that is also the long-term goal for the program. Now, how we do that is stay tuned for another press conference. Anybody else? All right.
All right, well, that concludes our press conference. Please join us inside. There is food waiting for you, and hopefully some good time. I think I heard there might even be music, maybe. I don't know. Thank you so much.